Good morning, guys. God turn it around. Y'all know how we do. That changes everything. God turn it around. God turn it around. God turn it around. Is in the name of Jesus. Come in the name of Jesus. And turn this thing around. God turn it around. God turn it around. I'm calling on the name that changes everything. God turn it around. God turn it around. God turn it around. Is in the name of Jesus. Breakthrough will come. The name of Jesus. Good morning, guys. Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, Lord. Beautiful. He's up to something. He's up to something. Right now. He is up to something. God is doing something. Right now. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right now. Go ahead, people. Go ahead, people. Making a way. Yes, yes, yes. People. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So that is Church of the City featuring John Reddick. God turn it around. Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, John Reddick. Actually, I think it's, what did I say it was? Church of the City? Featuring, yes, Church of the City featuring John Reddick, God Turn It Around. Now, there are multiple versions of this song, okay? You know, I'm a music lover, you know. That's my love language. Anyway, so yeah, even though I say that I'm not a religious person and I identify myself as a spiritual being, you know, for that kind of music, you know, yeah, they mention God. And let's just like clear this up, okay? Because I don't want people to hear the word God and get confused or get kind of like, oh my God, you know. So yeah, there are multiple denominations, okay? And we all have a different name for what we call it. And one thing I think that we can all agree on is no matter what you call it, no matter what denomination you practice, no matter what form you want to practice it in. I mean, it's all the same thing. Like, we all need something to believe in, like something beyond us, you know. So, like, please don't get nervous when you hear me listening to music that says the word God. You know, please don't get offended if you hear me talk about God. Like I said, we all have something that we believe in, and we all have a different name for it. We all practice it in a different way. But again, I think we can all agree on one thing, is that there is something, you know, beyond us. And it doesn't matter what you call it or how you practice it, what language it speaks in. You know, it's something out there, you know, that we believe in. Okay, we're gonna move on. Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today is, oh my God. So today is Thursday, August 31st. Okay, this video is part 2 of yesterday's video, August 30th. Okay, so we're going to continue on from there. So as you can see, yes, I still have COVID, but I'm doing okay. I certainly look, you know, a lot better. Like, I was able to, you know, shower and slick the hair back, you know. So I'm getting my energy back. There's still congestion here. I had a slight headache. I had to take some ibuprofen. I do take an allergy pill every morning, and I've always taken a vitamin, okay? Daily vitamin. So yeah, you know, I have my moments where, you know, I'll feel like I have enough energy to get certain things done, and I use that energy to get that stuff done, like showering, my hair. I put a little eyeliner and mascara on because, you know, I naturally have big puffy eyes or big eyes or whatever. Blame that on my dad, okay? So yeah, sometimes I use just a little eyeliner and mascara to kind of tone it down a little. My eyes can, you know, appear to make me look tired. You know, I'm in my 50s. Sometimes they can look a little aged, you know. It depends. Like, if I'm rested, like really rested, and I feel refreshed, like, you know, they say the eyes are the window to your soul, okay? And my goodness, they're kind of loud out there. I'm sitting in front of my window. There's people out there. I'm not going to be the nosy neighbor. I just hope that they keep it down. Anyway, so yeah, you know, I try to, like, hide the age, hide the tiredness, you know. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Glory be to God. Glory be to God. Oh, Father God. Help them people, Jesus. Help them people, Jesus. Oh, it's bad, guys. And I live in a good, decent neighborhood. But again, you know, mental health, you know, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in. You know, we just pray for people and help, you know, hope that young man, you know, find peace in his heart for whatever's going on with him right now. Yeah, he's out there cussing at someone, calling them names and things like that. So we just say a little prayer for this young man, that he finds peace with whatever he's dealing with. Again, I'm just a loving, caring person, guys. I don't like to hear anybody, you know, I understand sometimes we get, like, overwhelmed, you know, we get hurt, we get angry, and we're human, you know. But I don't like to hear people, in their moment like that. So we just say a little prayer for them. Hopefully, I know when I pray, God listens, okay? So yeah, he seems to have calmed down and moved on, whatever that was about. Anyway, moving on, guys. So yeah, so it is Thursday, August 31st. Can you believe we're at the end of August, like the last day in August? I don't know about you guys, but my goodness, where did the days go? Anyway, like I was saying, I'm feeling a little better, a little stronger. Like I said, I have my moments where 1 minute I'm up and then it crashes. I try to get things done when I have that energy. Like right now, the head thing, I took some ibuprofen. I can't really smell anything, but sometimes I'll get like a metallic smell. Like, I don't know what that's about. But as far as my taste, maybe I'm just greedy because, yeah, I can taste my food, guys. I may not have a sense of smell, but for some reason, because they say smell is connected to taste, I taste my food. And I still have that little freaking bump there that I was telling you guys about yesterday. I mean, it's not as painful as it was yesterday, but yeah, it is a little kind of painful. But I had to stop with the soup and the salty food for a minute. Let that little pimple there heal. Anyway, moving on. So, we left off yesterday. I wanted to pick up where I left off yesterday, first of all, because I know I got really emotional at the end of this segment when I talked about, mental health and being in that moment of crisis, and I talked about how, before I can't really say I've always known God. But what I can say is, when I started to become aware of, we're not even going to say God. We're going to take God out, okay? Not saying take God out. That's not what I mean, okay? But we're going to remove that word just so we don't freak people out. We're going to replace it with my higher being, my higher power, okay? So when I first, I have to be careful, when I say my words, like I said, I get racing thoughts. Things can get they can go real fast, and, I'll say something what I don't really actually mean. So we're going to slow it down. So, like I said, I didn't always know about a higher power. Yes, when I was a young girl and I talked about this, there was always that voice in the back of my mind, above all the noise and the confusion, I would get these messages. And as a young girl, I didn't acknowledge it. I was aware of it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what to call it. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't make that connection. And then when I got into my 20s as a young adult, yes, I started being more conscious of that thing in my head that would give me those good messages, and I started to put a name to it, and I started getting more in tune to it and acknowledging it and getting familiar with it. But before that, okay, there was a period of time when I would have these thoughts, not healthy thoughts, those harmful thoughts, okay? And it scared me, because I didn't know where those thoughts were coming from, and I didn't like what those thoughts were telling me. So, yeah, I get emotional about it because, when I get these thoughts, you feel guilt. You feel guilt that, oh my God, because these are your thoughts. These things are in your head. These are things that you're thinking. And you can get bumped into feelings behind that stuff because, like I said, I love myself, okay? I would never intentionally hurt myself. But when I would get these thoughts, like, it scared me, and I would feel guilty for even having those thoughts. Like, anyway, um, but the thoughts, okay, was so strong, and this was before I started to acknowledge the good thoughts and get more in tune with the good thoughts, and get more connected with the good thoughts. So, anyway, while these things were going on in my head, like, okay, here comes the panic. Now I'm in a state of panic because these thoughts are so strong, and I am trying so hard to understand where they're coming from, to not listen to them. I think I'm going to sneeze, guys. Give me a second. Oh, sorry about that. I am sick. I have allergies and I'm sitting in front of an open window, okay? I have all my windows open. I have fans blowing, pushing all that sick air out of my house. Like, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. So, and then the anxiety, when the thoughts would come and I would panic and then go into anxiety because I'm trying to resist these bad thoughts and I'm trying to resist acting out on these bad thoughts to the point where I would start like losing my breath. They call it like hyperventilating, like I can't breathe, my heart's racing, I'm sweating, I'm overwhelmed with everything that's going on. I start crying, and there were times when there was one time, right, when I first started learning about these things, okay, I really felt like I was having a heart attack, and I would run to the ER like, something is wrong, like, help me, because, and then, your overthinking goes into overdrive, so now you think you about to have a heart attack, you about to die, you're in a state of panic, and you run to the ER and you're like, oh my God, help me. And people be looking at you like you are actually crazy and losing your mind. Anyway, so where I was going with that whole thing, okay, so let's just like back it up a little bit because I didn't do the recap, okay? So we left off, okay, we started talking about since my birth, there has been some evil being, spirit, force, whatever you want to call it, trying to control my life, okay? And then we went over generational curse. We talked about religion. We talked about church. We talked about church members. We talked about spiritual warfare, okay? We talked about childhood trauma. Okay, and now we are in that adulthood phase, okay, where we're dealing with mental and physical health, okay, the outside factors, okay. So now, here I am as a young adult, okay, in my early 20s, now coming into touch with the childhood trauma, facing being undereducated, facing like I'm in my early 20s. I have a young child, okay? So now I'm facing motherhood, okay? Those outside factors like education, housing, income. Like there was so much going on. And while I am trying to maintain my education or gain more education, while I am trying to hold down a job or some type of income, where I'm trying to manage paying rent and bills, because mind you, like If you have read my book, God's Gift to You, book 1, yes, we're going back to the book, okay? Okay, so that's the first book that I wrote, okay? So if you've read this book, you guys know, okay? I have a young child who I'm trying to keep a roof over our heads, okay? Pay rent and bills, food, clothes, everyday expenses. At that time, I had not yet learned to drive. I did not have a car. So I used to have to catch like 2 buses and sometimes a train just to get to work every day. And if you live in Boston, in the Roxbury and Dorchester sections of Boston, okay, you know what that's like, okay? That was a very stressful period of time for me, okay? So all these things is going on, okay? And we're not even going to touch on the relationships piece, okay? Because that's like a whole nother outside factor, okay? And I'm not talking about just the intimate relationships with your spouse, okay, or your partner or whatever. Even, platonic relationships, co-workers, okay, neighbors, okay, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your siblings, okay? Like there's a whole lot going on, okay? So you're in the middle of a mental health crisis, okay? And you go to these institutions, these healthcare facilities, okay? And the treatment that you get, first of all, okay? Because let me tell you something. You can go to school all you want. You can read all the books you want to read. But unless you've actually experienced some stuff, okay, you really don't know, okay? And ignorance, okay, the way the people in the healthcare profession would treat you, okay? I'm a young adult. I'm not stupid. I'm having a mental health crisis, and these medical professionals, okay, the way they greet you, the way they talk to you, okay, I'm already dealing with some stuff going on, you know what I mean, inside of me. Like there's a whole lot going on, okay? Now I have to deal with the professionals, okay? And this is why I say, people, do your research, okay? Do your research. Don't let these doctors and these health care facilities tell you anything, talk to you any kind of way, treat you any kind of way, okay? Stay with me, people. Now, these are the outside factors, okay? You already got a lot of things going on inside of you. And now, with all this going on, now you have to deal with these outside factors, okay? So we go to these healthcare facilities, the professionals, who are supposed to be educated in these matters, okay? We get the care we need. Now, another outside factor, this is where I'm going with this, okay? Imagine you have a job paying you minimum wage and you don't have health insurance. Imagine you have no job and you have no health insurance, okay? Imagine you have a good job, you make good money, you have good health care insurance. But them co-pays, people, come on now, somebody. Okay? These are the outside factors when dealing with a mental health crisis, okay? So Now, not only am I dealing with childhood trauma, you know, relationships with my parents, with my siblings, with my mate, my spouse, my other half, whatever, co-workers, the public, you know, catching them 2 buses and trains to get to work every day in Roxbury and Dorchester every morning. Come on now. Motherhood. Okay? These are all the inside factors. Gaining income, keeping income, getting a roof over your head, keeping a roof over your head, paying rent, paying bills. You know, there's like all these inside factors going on. Now you have to also deal with those outside factors, you know, because whether you have good insurance or not, honey, them co-pays, by the time I pay my rent and my bills, okay? Now, for me to go to counseling once a week, 4 weeks a month, okay, at $50 a session, that's the copay, okay? So $50 a week times 4, that's $200 a month to stay well, okay? That ain't always gonna happen. People can't always afford them copays, okay? And that doesn't even include how much the medication that you need to treat your mental health ailment cost. Okay? So these are the outside factors that I'm talking about. And, you know, even when you either don't have insurance or you have mediocre insurance, you know, and you can't somehow afford the copay, then they give you all this freaking paperwork trying to get you some type of free care to treat your medical condition. You know, paperwork. You need like 4 paycheck stubs. Well, how am I going to get 4 paycheck stubs if I don't have a freaking job? It's just so much paperwork. You know, it can be overwhelming. It can. Okay? And then you end up in medical debt as if you don't have enough on your plate as it is. Okay? So, you guys, there's just so much, okay? So much in this world that we have to deal with, okay? So that was where we left off yesterday when I got a little emotional about my mental health condition, okay? And now we're going to move on. So I'm looking at my script to make sure I'm on point, okay? So this is where we left off yesterday, and then I had to write in red to make sure that I covered these things from where I left off yesterday, because I didn't want to just jump into talking about something new. And then sometimes when I start talking about things, I can get sidetracked. I can get emotional and lose my chain of thought. So I had to write in red to make sure this is where we would go from where we left off yesterday. And again, it says start out talking about the cost of healthcare, because that's where I left off. I got a little emotional, you know, when talking about my mental health condition, okay? So we are on point, talking about having insurance, like we're on point. We did all that. So we're going to move on. Let's move on to relationships. We haven't talked about those things yet, guys. Now this is going to get good, okay? Now, again, we're going to go back to my book, okay? God's Gift to You, Book 1, Johnny Belinda Hopkins. You have to read the book. And this is not a dump on my parents session, okay? Like I said, there are millions of people in the world, okay, that fall in the same category as I do, as far as being a young adult and not being educated, not finishing high school, undereducated. You have people who have decided to participate in, we're going to call this experimental drug use, okay? Because it might start out socially. We all have that moment in our life when we're probably like in our teenage years or young adult years, and people are drinking alcohol or smoking pot or whatever else is going on. And socially, yeah, we might want to experiment, not knowing where it's going to lead us, okay? So we go down that path of substance abuse, okay? So you have undereducated, substance abuse. Some people may have had a mental health condition that went undetected, unnoticed for whatever reason. Like I said, the medical information has changed dramatically over the years, okay? Years ago, we didn't have all this information. We didn't have social media. I mean, there was a time when I remember being a child, there was no cable, okay? So information has changed dramatically over the decades, okay, in the centuries, okay? Undereducated, substance abuse, mental health issues, okay? Then these people start having children, start having babies. So there's a lot going on for these young adults, okay? My point in saying all that is, now, I went from this, okay? You have to read the book, okay? As a young adult, new mom, back home in Boston, because I had left Boston for a while, reconnecting with my family. So the relationship I had with my parents as a child now has changed because I'm no longer that little girl. I'm a grown woman now with a child of my own, okay? I've had to do a lot of work as far as my healing, my education, things like that. And unfortunately, my parents, they're still the same people they were when I was a little girl, So now I have to learn a new way of dealing with my parents as an adult, okay? How do we go from my childhood trauma to now being an adult and still having to deal with my parents? I not only had to quickly educate myself, but now I have to, unfortunately, well, I'm not going to say unfortunately, okay? I've had to take what information I have gained and now share it with my parents, okay? So after going through all that as a child with my parents, now I am a young adult with a child of my own and still trying to manage a relationship with my parents, but, not that toxic stuff that was going on when I was a kid. Like, I had to help my parents to understand, that things had to change. Especially now that I have a daughter. Like, you cannot do to my daughter what you did to me. Things had to change. Not just dealing with this relationship with my parents, my siblings, my brothers, my sister. Like, I wasn't the only one traumatized. As I addressed my issues and educated myself and started to heal, I have to watch my siblings suffer because they did not get the help that they needed. They did not yet begin to understand or address or even identify that there was a problem. So this isn't just for the women. I have 2 brothers and I love my brothers. And I'm going to tell you, when I see my brothers suffer, it hurts. It hurts me. Okay? But because I know my brothers and where they come from and how their life started, I have to have mercy and I have to have grace. I have to have patience. I have to have tolerance. Like, this is my family. Anyway. So for the men, these things are for you too, guys. Because like I said, I don't want just for me to get better, okay? I need for everybody around me to get better. You know, my brothers, they're an uncle now. I have a little girl whom, like, even though I grew up in foster care, like, I came back to Boston to find my family because although I am very grateful for my foster family, I wanted my daughter to know my parents, my siblings. Like, that was very important to me. Like, her roots, my roots. Okay, and just because I grew up in a foster home, I didn't forget my where I come from. I didn't forget my you know, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sister. Like, no. Like, throughout my whole time spent in foster care, I would run away to go home and find my people. Okay, like, there's no way you're gonna, like, rip me out of my neighborhood from my family and take me far away and I'm just gonna forget about them. No, we can't do that. I need to know where my people are. I need to know where my mom is. Once I found my mom, where are my siblings? Where's this person? Where's that person? No, we gotta go find them. No, we gotta go find them. And the thing is, they're still the same people, okay, that I left, that I'm coming back into, okay? So these relationships with my siblings, you guys, it's deep. It's deep. So we're going to go down the list, okay? Now, we talked about relationships as far as your parents, your siblings. Mind you, I'm a new mom. So now I have a relationship with this little girl who doesn't have a clue. Okay? My daughter's father. Where does he factor in? Okay. Can you imagine being a young adult, having a traumatic childhood, okay? And I've had this conversation, you know, later on in the years with my dad. And again, not blaming my parents. Like, okay, these are issues that we need to talk about. We need to identify them and we need to talk about them. Unfortunately, like, my parents did not teach me about healthy relationships. Now, is it their responsibility to teach me about healthy relationships? As an adult, absolutely not. But yeah, in my younger years, like, I lived in a community where I didn't see people in love or getting married. You know, I come from a community where it's mostly single parents. And as kids, we don't question this stuff. We don't talk about it. We don't even know. We can't identify that stuff. But as a young adult, yeah. Like I said, I'm in my 50s. I've never been married. Do I know love? Possibly. I'm laughing, guys. Oh, we ain't even got to the meat and potatoes of it all. Oh, this is going to be good, guys. So, we're going into 40 minutes. And, you know, this isn't an all-day session, so we're going to leave off there. So, we're going to leave off relationships, baby daddy. There's still so much to cover, guys. So much to cover. What do you guys think about today's session? I was gonna end this session with some more of that God turn it around. John Reddick. Lord knows I need some turning around. Anyway, I wanted to end it on that, but apparently my freaking speaker, it shuts off on me when it's not in use. I don't know why. But I usually connect my iPhone to my speaker. Let me just go turn my speaker on, guys. Give me one quick second. I'm right here, guys. I don't know why this stupid speaker shuts off after a few minutes of not being in use. Because I pair it to my phone. Like I said, technology is great when it's working. Now we're supposed to be hearing it, but this phone is, you see that thing turning? Technology. I don't know how you young generation do this. Why can't I hear it? We're supposed, oh, duh. I turned my phone off so we wouldn't be disturbed. That would help. Yeah, but I still don't hear anything. Oh my God. So, I just wanted to end this video the way we started. Should be working, but because this thing is spinning here. You see that? Oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. So annoying. Like, is it not connected to my internet? Like, what in the world? Is the phone is on? Let me just go. Hold on, guys. I did it! God turn it around. God turn it around. God turn it around. Is in the name. Breakthrough will come. The name of Jesus. Yes, Lord. Yes. You hear that, guys? God is doing something right now. That's K-Love, guys. It's a K-Love artist. I told you I'm a big K-Love fan. So anyway, guys, we're just past that 45-minute mark, so we're gonna end this session. Like I said, my energy comes and goes, so I kind of get things in while I have the energy to do so. And there's just so much to cover, guys, so much. Like I said, you guys have to read my book. Follow this journey with me. I'm gonna guide you through a whole lot of stuff, guys. You know, just like I went and searched for the information and the knowledge to improve my circumstances and situations, like whatever information that God's gift to you, whatever information God gave me, you know, I'm going to give to you guys, okay? Because like I said, I don't just want to get better. I need everybody around me to get better, okay? And there will be a book 2 following that. Like I said, we haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes yet. There's still so much more to cover, guys. So stay tuned. You know, if you come across my Facebook, Johnny B. Hopkins author page, I'm going to ask that you hit the like and follow button. You know, please follow me. My YouTube page, you know, please hit the subscribe button, you know, and stay tuned. Like, you know, together we can do this, you know. You know, I want families to get better. I want people to heal. You know, a lot of people will give you information that you don't even know what that means. I'm going to tell you, anything I say to you, I'm going to tell you what it means, okay? So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Bye.